Okay, we're rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. You know, I started the show years ago, and I was hoping to find people like my guest today, my guest co-host, because having time with people like this makes my day better. I get to learn a lot and celebrate yet another great voice in podcasting out there helping people. The same kind of desire to help people in all different ways and all different stages of their journey as a podcaster. And Andi's here with me, and I'm so excited to have her here. I met her through Remy, who was on the show previously, and Podground. And as I was listening to Andi talk to other podcasters and coach in this environment of community setting through Remy's group, I could just hear gold just pouring out of Andi, and a heart for people. A heart for people. I'm serious. I was just like, oh my gosh, if I can get any time with Andi, I'd be so thrilled. So she's here. And,
yes, I'm so excited to be
Andi,
here.
Welcome.
Thank
nice
you.
To be here, right?
And also shout out to Remy and Podground. If you haven't done it yet, you really need to hop on. It's a free community. There are paid aspects, but like the free stuff is amazing and like so worth it. So yeah, if you haven't done Podground yet, go hop in that community because it is so fun, so fabulous. And I've been podcasting for quite a while at this point, and I feel like I'm still learning stuff when I hop on over there. So yes, there's the shout out for Remy and Podground for sure.
And we will put a link in the show notes, as we always say, right? The cool kids say, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Andi, tell everybody a little bit about your podcasting background and give us some updates. Come on.
Okay, so I'm going to take you all the way back. So I graduated from university with a broadcast journalism major. I loved the audio aspect, the radio aspect. So I got to be a radio producer for a radio show for a couple of years, and then decided to have kids and realized that being a radio producer and having kids doesn't really work very well. So I took a little break and then was like, you know what? I just want to dive into podcasting and try this podcasting thing. And I've been here ever since. So I've had my own show for almost 5 years. I started my show couple weeks after my youngest was born because I was like, I need something for me. So I've been in the podcasting audio space for like 8+ years, but I've had my own show for about 5. And I love it. I've loved having my own show, and I've really loved helping I mostly help moms and like parents, people that have children, grow their own show, because it is such a beautiful thing to have something that's just yours. And like when I finally had my podcast, it was like, oh my gosh, like I can like point at something and be like, look at what I did today. Because as a parent, sometimes you're like, what did I even accomplish today? So That's what I really, really love to do, is help parents with their podcasts.
Nice. It's kind of like having another baby, I guess, because you name it, right? You
True.
put it out in the world. You got to take care of it. You got to feed it.
Right.
You got to clean up after it. Like all of this stuff happens, right? It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
it's like having another child.
And I feel like people will always say that podcasting is a long game. And like that also is like parenting, right?
Yeah.
Parenting is a long game. Like nothing is changing in a day with your children. You have to remind them 17,000 times before they remember anything. Mm-hmm. So same with podcasting.
Yeah, my 3-year-old grandchild, we just we have the wall where we stand her up and we measure her as she grows.
Sure.
Another thing we do in podcasting, we look at our analytics and are we growing? That's so many things, right?
So many things.
There's a lot
we
of
could like spend
here.
the whole time just talking about how parenting and podcasting are similar. We don't need to, but we could.
No, we don't. We could. We definitely could. Talk to the mom listening, Andi. Like I know that's one of your heartbeats there, who looks at podcasting from the outside, going, but how do I even fit this into my day? Like, you're a busy mom. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
How do you squeeze in having time to do this? Like, give me some behind the scenes stuff.
So truly, I have, like so many thoughts. First of all, I have a seasonal show, and I think that is kind of almost essential when you're a parent. Maybe not for everyone, but for me and my sanity. So currently I'm in a seasonal break. I take summers off because my kids are home, and I think I would go insane if I was trying to put episodes out right now while I had 3 kids at home. So take seasonal breaks and then create like the podcast episode that you can sustain. So like for me right now, my podcast episodes are like, if it's a solo episode, it's between like 10 and 15 minutes. If it's an interview episode, it's like no more than 30. Like so that I can edit that and like get it out into the world on time and keep like and make sure it's sustainable that way too. I feel like a lot of podcasters don't really think about episode time being a thing that they need to be like considering. And so that is one thing that I will say is when I help moms start their own podcasts or grow their podcast, but that's one thing we look at is how long is your episode? Like, is editing those, 30, 45-minute episodes causing you like stress? Are you like, is that making it so much harder to actually continue your podcast? Like, if it is, then let's look at that and see, maybe instead of if you have only interview episodes and they're like gold 30 minutes, then like have a part 1, part 2, right? Like there are ways that you can do this that makes it sustainable still. So those are like 2 of the many things that I think of for moms. The other one is like use nap times and like quiet time and bedtime. Right. Exactly. Exactly. We already talked about it, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like using those small pockets of time that you get makes all the difference as well as a parent.
Okay, so I know I have to go far back in my memory to remember my dad brain, because now I'm a grandfather, but now I have a grandfather brain.
Totally.
But I remember being so closed off as a family when our kids were little. We don't get to go out as much. We don't get a lot of human interaction.
Yeah.
It's just feedings or your sleep schedule's off. Everything's weird. You can't just pick up and go do stuff.
That's true.
So I found myself kind of longing for something that was for me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like something that I could do that filled my cup. Because I always felt like I was walking around on empty the whole time, right? So maybe podcasting, even if it's once a month, once every 2 months, like you can do whatever you want, but
totally.
It's just something for you. Right?
Yeah.
I get time with you today. Like this is filling my cup today, right?
Yeah. Oh, when I started my podcast, oh my goodness. That was like one of the benefits that I didn't know I needed was connecting with other podcasters and like, yeah, just like making friends in that way, which I was not expecting to make friends through my podcast, but I did. I still like some of my really good friends I met, like I cold emailed Whitney Archibald. She has a podcast about it's called The Family Lab, but like it just helps parents parent well. And I just cold emailed her. I was like, hey, will you be on my podcast? And she said yes. And now we're friends. Like we've been to podcast conferences together. Like, and that is one of the beauties of podcasting that I was not expecting was making friends and just like, like having adult conversation. Cause that is something that does not happen. Did you start your podcast when you still had littles at home, or were you like past that stage?
Yeah, my kids I was just entering empty nest time when they all left. And that's when I kind of had that freedom in my calendar a little bit to go.
So you were like, okay.
Well, I'm not driving them everywhere and I don't have appointments and music things and high school. I got this time now that I used to have for something else. Now I can maybe do this. So
I love that. Well, and it was probably helped you also to like feel a little less alone, because I bet it's kind of weird to become an empty nester. Like,
yeah.
So
that's when I started one of my other shows called Dad Space, podcast for dads by dads, because I was like, how can I help dads? Because that went by really fast from, diapers to I'm taking the keys and I'm moving out. It's like, wait a minute, like a shock. It's like, how did that go by so quickly? I'm like, can I help another dad? Right?
Totally.
That's why I created that show. So,
I love it.
There you go. Right.
Yeah. And I feel like that one thing that I've noticed about podcasters is most of us are really helpful. Like we want to be helpful, right? So like for me, I feel like I have my podcast because I want to help other podcasters in the ways that I've learned some things. So I want to like tell them about all the things that I've learned, which I feel like is similar with your dad podcast. You're like, I've learned some things and you're in the thick of it right now. So let me like give you some tips.
Right. And then to hear back from people.
Yeah.
I know we don't hear back all the time, but for Dad Space, apart from my thing I'm doing for How to Podcast this year, Dad Space is every week. And then in November, there's that National Podcast Post Month Challenge where we're supposed to do 30 episodes in 30 days.
I don't know if I'm going to do that, but yes, I've heard about it.
So last year, 3 of my podcasts participated. So that was 90 episodes.
That's a lot of episodes.
Right. So by Dad Space was one of the podcasts that participated.
That's cool.
And I had the daily episodes, and I had a gentleman reach out to me from New Zealand. And he said, I was talking about men's mental health because November is also Movember,
Right.
to raise awareness for men's cancer and prostate health, all that stuff, right? So, so I have that reason to do the podcast every day, and then I have the November challenge as well. So I didn't knock two off in one shot.
Love it.
After about a few episodes in for that month, last November, I had an email from somebody in New Zealand, and he said, Dave, I've been putting off getting support and help for my mental health forever, and listening to your show this month, I've actually made my first appointment.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah.
So, right? Like that
so
kind
awesome.
of, that's an email that you save.
Yes.
Like, I'm keeping that for the days when I'm just not
You're not sure why you're even
like,
doing it.
why am I,
days.
yeah, why?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I love
and
that.
just pull that up.
Yes.
Like, that's amazing.
Yes. Okay. And that's like a, what's the word? I'm not a PSA, but maybe of like, hey, if you have a podcast you really like, just like send them a quick note or just like review their
Yes.
podcast. Cause like, I feel like as a podcaster, I try really hard to set aside some time every month to just like send a quick review or send an email or even a DM. Like it doesn't have to be anything big, but like, cause it's such a big deal when people do that for me. And so like, I feel like as podcasters, we should make sure that we're doing that because it just makes everyone's day, and it makes you feel better too as the sender because you know how good it's going to feel because you know how it feels when it happens to you. Yeah.
Right.
There's like a little reminder for everybody.
It's a good thing to think about the next time you record your next episode and you record your own call to action. Before you hit record on that call to action, ask yourself, before I ask anyone to do this next thing, when's the last time I did this thing?
Exactly.
Right?
It's true.
Right? When, like, not to be judgy of ourselves, but just to kind of remind ourselves that it's one thing to ask for, it's another thing to lead by example.
Yeah.
And be that person that puts the good stuff out in the world. Because, again, like you said, it means so much to us to hear back from you.
It really does. Yeah. And it's honestly, when we like get down to it, it's like a less than 5 minute like thing that we have to do. It's really like you could do it while you're standing in line at the grocery store. Like it doesn't have to be a big thing, but it makes such a big difference and makes us feel so good. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's try this. Let's do a couple things from your perspective.
Okay.
Things that you hear about in podcasting, and you're just like, nope, not for me. Like it doesn't.
Oh, there are so many of these. I'm excited.
I've tried it, or I'm not even going to try it, or whatever. I'm just gonna smile and nod away as you go. But Andi, please take the floor. Some things you're like, nope, not for me in podcasting.
Okay. Well, we've already kind of talked about it, but putting out an episode every week. When people say that's the only way to grow your show, that is such a load of baloney. Like, I think it's ridiculous because truly for 3 years, I put out a show every week, an episode every week. And that was when I had like a newborn. Like, what was I doing? I don't know. But, I just kind of like hit a wall and I was like, oh, I'm done. Either I'm done podcasting or I'm taking a break, and maybe I'm done podcasting either way. And I took like a summer off. It was not last summer, but the summer before. I just took it off. I didn't even tell I was like, hey, listeners, I'm taking a break. Bye. Like I did tell them I was taking a break, so I didn't like completely ghost them, but I was like, I need a breather. So that summer was my summer of like, am I going to keep podcasting? Is this what I'm going to be doing? And I took the whole summer and I was like, actually, yeah, I do miss podcasting, but I got to change some things because this is not working for me anymore. So that is one thing, is if you think that you have to podcast every week, put out an episode every week, that is just not true. And I have a lot of people, whenever I post, I love Threads. Threads is like my favorite social media platform. So whenever I talk about it on Threads, people will be like, well, I just like work ahead and then I take a month off, but all of my episodes, I still have episodes going out. I'm like, so you worked ahead. So now you're like stressed and tired from working ahead. And then you're going to just like get yourself back to like ground zero. And then you're going to have to start putting episodes out again. Like you need to fill up your creative cup, not just like, yeah. So I'm a big proponent of taking breaks, even if they're short. Like take 2 or 3 weeks if that's all you need to like just take a breather and then like jump back in. But yeah, taking breaks is a big deal. And in my opinion, necessary for all podcasters. So whenever anyone says like consistency is key, you have to put an episode every week. I'm like,
No, there you go.
That's probably my biggest one. I think the other one that I think this is not so much talked about, but kind of like assumed by most new podcasters, I'll say, is like once you decide on like your podcast art or your podcast title, then it's like stuck. That's it forever. And that is like just not the case at all. You can change that thing whenever you want to. Whenever I'm coaching any new podcaster, they are so worried about their podcast title. I'm like, girl, like this is not a thing. Like we can change it 2 months from now. Like let's just pick something that you like, that you're okay with saying in every episode. But like we can change it. Or truly, one thing that I did was I just had a colon and then like SEO keywords after that. Like, and that was, and so I kept Friendly Podcast Guide and then I added a colon so that it was more searchable. And so like, there's just so many things you can do. And like your podcast is not set in stone. Like writing a book, that's way more set in stone. You got to pick a title that's going to stay. You can't change it. But like with podcasting, there's so many more things that are fluid and flexible than I think we let ourselves think there are, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Those are two good ones. Now, what about something that's underrated in podcasting that deserves more attention?
Trailers, podcast trailers. I feel like not very many people do podcast trailers. I love a podcast trailer. Like I do so again, seasonal show, right? So I have a new podcast trailer for every season. And I feel like it's a great way to like reintroduce myself, let people know what they're going to get into. And also I love listening to podcast trailers because it gives me a vibe of like, is this podcast for me or not? In like 2 minutes. I can listen to anything for 2 minutes. While like, I'm not going to listen to your 45-minute episode if I like don't even know if I'm going to like it. So a podcast trailer, I love a podcast trailer. Everyone should have one. Even if it's just, you know, if you're not like me and you don't have a seasonal show, at least have a trailer that you update maybe like once every 6 months, once every year, just so that like people can find it, click it, and like be introduced to you in a quicker way than having to listen to an entire episode. I love a podcast trailer. Love it.
Yeah. I have another one of my shows is called The Canadian Podcaster. Oh. And I have a magazine, a virtual magazine at CanadianPodcaster.com, selfish plug. And it's a flippable magazine where you can actually flip the pages online.
Oh, cool.
Like a real book, like a magazine, right? The whole thing. But I highlight about 10 to 12 podcasters every month. They're Canadian content. And I go out to try to find their trailers. And I would tell you maybe less than 20% have a trailer.
Really?
And I'm like, really? Like, so all I can do is grab their latest episode.
Sure.
And I just do a little clip of it. But I'm like, just take like your intro and maybe just tweak it a little bit. That's enough. Right?
It's something.
That's all you need.
Just like,
right?
Yep.
I like trailers.
I love a trailer.
All right. What else is underrated? Come on. You got to have something else.
What else is underrated?
From people coming to you saying, Andy, help me. And you're like, oh, you should really, have you tried this? And they're like, no, what's that?
I feel like, well, Pinterest. Okay, can we get into Pinterest right now?
Please. Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay, first I said, before you go there, Andy.
Okay.
I don't think I've had 700 plus episodes. I don't think I've had anybody talk about Pinterest.
Really?
So you are the first, and I've been holding the space just for you.
Oh, thank
you. You are the first to bring this to our attention.
Okay.
So I want you to go.
Oh, we
nuts.
can dive
I'm gonna
deep
just,
on Pinterest.
Please.
Okay.
This is you now. This is all you. Go.
Okay, so Pinterest is a really, really good spot for podcasters. Again, so I work mostly with women, right, podcasters. So that's why I really like Pinterest, because a lot of the podcasters that I'm working with are women, and a lot of women use Pinterest. So if your listeners are on Pinterest, if your listeners are women, they're most likely using Pinterest in some form or fashion. And Pinterest is just the best. So if we compare Pinterest to Instagram or TikTok, Pinterest, people go to Pinterest to find answers to things. They go to like get ideas, to be inspired, while they go to Instagram and TikTok just to be entertained, right? When you go to Instagram or TikTok, you're there to like veg out and like not really think very much. So like the likelihood of someone looking at your Instagram post and then being like, I want to go listen to this podcast right now, is like next to nothing. While on Pinterest, they are there to learn something. They're there to get ideas on how to be better at something. And lots of podcasts are all about like answering a question, right? And so that's
Right.
why Pinterest is such a good fit for podcasters. Let me think, what else can I say? Well, Pinterest is also like super evergreen. So like, most podcasts are evergreen content. And so like Pinterest pins will like hang around and like circulate regularly for a little more than a year compared to
Wow.
Instagram, which is like 72 hours usually is
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it's about the like sometimes longer. I will say that, but like for the most part it's about 72 hours. So like I have pins that like will just like pop up randomly from like 2 years ago that like people are just finding it again, saving it, clicking it, liking it, whatever. So like that's another thing that I love about Pinterest is that there's the longevity of Pinterest is so much better. And like you have all the content as a podcaster, right? Like it's all there. So you might as well have something that's going to like have a platform that also is long term, right?
Right.
So that's another reason I love Pinterest. And I also love Pinterest. Okay, you cut me off when you're ready because I have like so many
No, no, no.
things.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Okay. I also love Pinterest because there is an algorithm to Pinterest. I will say that. But it is much more SEO driven. So like as long as you have your like Pinterest SEO keywords in your post, or not your post, in your pin, in your title, in your description, people that need that content are gonna find it. Like they're gonna search it in their thing, they're gonna search it in the search bar, it's gonna pop down and they're gonna find your stuff. So you're not like just hoping that you're using the right, I don't know, like music in the background of your reel on Instagram. It's like, no, as long
Right.
as you have your SEO keywords, people are
Okay.
going to find you. And so
Okay.
it just makes things so much easier. Like truly, I deleted Instagram off of my phone in March. We're recording in
Really?
July.
Okay.
And I haven't really had any dip in downloads. I'm still like people are still finding my content on Pinterest and Threads. Those are like my two main ones at the moment. But also like PSA for Threads. Threads you can also schedule ahead of time. So like I'll schedule a week worth of Threads and then like I'll come back and like check on it and like see if people have commented and comment back. But like Threads is just so much more simple. Like there's my like
Yeah.
random PSA for Threads. But with Pinterest, the other, like I also love the scheduling aspect. So I can schedule out like a month's worth of pins within Pinterest. Like there isn't even like a third party that you have to go through. You used
Nice.
to. Pinterest a while ago, I don't know, probably a couple of years ago, they didn't have the schedule feature. So like you would just have to like go in and like post every day. Now they have it in there. There's a third party like app that you can use called Tailwind that can help with the same sort of thing. But I don't want to pay for extra stuff. So I currently just use Pinterest, the scheduler within Pinterest, and it works great. So yeah, those are
Okay.
like my top reasons why I love Pinterest.
Okay. So give us a couple please do and a couple please don't.
Oh,
On
yes. Okay, I
Pinterest.
love it. So please, I'm going to start with please don't. Please,
Okay, please don't.
don't get overwhelmed by Pinterest because a lot of Pinterest experts, quote unquote experts, will say that you have to pin at least 5 pins per day to, yeah, to be successful on Pinterest. And the truth of the matter is the more you pin, the faster people will find your stuff. Which, sure, great. But the other aspect is if you are consistently putting out pins, people are also going to find your stuff. It might take a little bit longer because you're not putting out as much stuff as quickly, but it's still getting out there and it's still circulating in Pinterest, like so that when people do search for it, they're going to find it. So a lot of people get overwhelmed by the idea of 5 to 15 pins per day. Like some people are trying to put out 15 pins per day. That's insanity. Like who has time for, I don't have time for that. I currently am doing 1 pin per day but truly and that's like all I can handle. Right. And truly when I first was like, no, I'm really going to try Pinterest. This was not January of the last year. I'm doing 1 pin per week. I had 1 pin go up on Wednesdays every week for each new episode. And that was it. Like I was like, I don't have capacity or like time or energy for anything more than 1 pin per week. And I have pins that I pinned back then that are still circulating and like still pop up every once in a while. Like people are like looking at it and saving it and whatever. So don't get overwhelmed. And also your pins don't have to be this like beautifully aesthetic thing. Like they can, especially when you're first starting, just like try, just like see what you're going to do. Like just hop on Canva. That's what I use. I just have like the free Canva and just, they have pin templates that are for free and you can hop on there. Usually they're boring. I will say they're usually like beige. So like make the colors more exciting than whatever they have on Canva. But then
I like beige. Hey. Yeah.
I don't, but that's fine. If beige is your thing, like that will make it even easier, right? The pins are already that color. And then you just download them, upload them to Pinterest, put a title and description on there, and go from there. So those are my don'ts. Don't get overwhelmed.
Okay. Yep.
You, with Pinterest, I would say when you first start, decide on a pin frequency, like how often you're going to pin and stick to it. You can always add more, but like going backward isn't as good. So like if you're like, I can handle 1 pin per week, like I started, or you can do 3 pins per week or whatever that is. And you can always up it when you're like, actually, no, I think I could do 5 pins per week now. You can always go up. But I will say Pinterest is much more forgiving than Instagram or TikTok as far as like, if you're like, my entire family is sick and I cannot post on Pinterest right now, and you take like a month off, right? Pinterest is not going to, like, when you start pinning again, it's not going to put you in like view jail. Like I feel like Instagram will be like, you're in 100 view jail for the next whatever. Yeah. Pinterest does not do that. The only thing that happens is you don't have as many views because you haven't been putting out pins, if that makes sense. So you just have to get back into it, and then Pinterest will start showing your pins to people again. So yes, so do have a like sustainable pinning schedule that you can stick to. And then the other thing I would say is look at, when you're looking for your Pinterest SEO keywords, go to Pinterest itself. Don't use keywords from Google or any other like SEO stuff. What I do for my clients is I will get ideas for SEO keywords from, I will use Google sometimes, and just listening to their stuff. I'll come up with like a list of phrases and words, and then I will take those phrases and words and put them into the search bar on Pinterest, and then see what drops down to see what people are actually, like the phrases people are actually using. Cause like, for me, my podcast, I talk a lot about marketing podcasts, right? But no one on Pinterest is typing in podcast marketing. Like that's, but they're typing in how to grow a podcast, right? So like just figuring out those nuances so that you're using the words that people are actually searching for. And when you're first starting, maybe have like 1 or 2 SEO keywords that you're putting into your titles and descriptions. You don't want to get overwhelmed, but have a couple so that it's easier for you to be found. So those are my do's for Pinterest. Those are like the basic ones. Obviously, we could go into nitty gritty, and we can if you want to, but that's like basic.
I'll just have you back 1,000 more times. That's all. We're going to do that. That's all we're going to do.
I'm down. Honestly, I could talk about Pinterest like all day. It's one of my favorite things. Like when I get to be like a guest expert for like a podcast community and I get to talk about Pinterest. Oh, it's so fun. Because, well, the other thing about Pinterest is there's a lot of things that are unique to each podcast, right? Every podcast is a little bit different. And so like, it's fun to answer specific questions about different podcasts and like how to approach it for them. And I'm all about it.
Okay. You did mention you work with clients around this and other things. We're going to keep talking, but can you just talk about that a little bit more? Because
Sure.
People are listening. They're like perked up right now.
That's
going, wait
true.
a minute.
I didn't even think about
Dave,
that.
let's not wait to the end. I want to know now.
Okay, so I have 2 main offers when it comes to Pinterest. I have a Pinterest, oh my goodness, I'm blanking what it's called. It's like the DIY version of like, here is a booklet with like videos where I literally walk you through how to do it, like a DIY version of Pinterest, how to do Pinterest for podcasters. Oh, it's called Pinterest Magic for Podcasters.
Oh,
it came to me. There you go. And then, so that's if you want to do it by yourself. And then if you want me to do it for you because you're like, yeah, I don't even want to touch that, which understandable. There are things I don't want to touch that I have other people help me with. It's called Pinterest VIP Setup. So I will take your podcast information and then I will create your Pinterest profile for you, figure out your SEO keywords so you don't have to put any words into the search bar. I do it all for you. And then I like make it all pretty for you, and then I do your first 30 pins for you as well, so that you kind of have, because like with Pinterest, one of the harder parts, it's honestly a lot like podcasting. It's a long game. Pinterest is. And so like those first 30 days, you're not going to see very many views. You're not going to see very many likes or comment. I guess there aren't well, there are comments. Not very many people comment on Pinterest, but like saves, that kind of thing. In those first 30 days, you're not going to see very much. And so I like being like, I will take that. You don't even look at that. I'm just here. I'm making your pins so that you don't have to, and then you can pick it up from there if you want to, or after you've done a Pinterest VIP setup with me, if you want me to just keep doing your pins for you, I have packages for that as well.
Good. All right.
So yeah, okay. That's how I help with Pinterest for the most part.
I like this.
Yeah.
So are we just going on Pinterest then and saying new episode out tomorrow, or is there something better we should be doing?
You could. That would be a great place to start. If truly for podcasters, a lot of people will make like graphics or whatever for other social media platforms. So you could stick that on Pinterest. If you're like, this is where I can start, this is what I have the capacity for, that's where you can start. If you want to up your game a little bit, you can make pins like on Canva. There are like templates that you can do that's like, now I'm trying to think. Like I was literally just making pins for my own show that was like how like 2 marketing strategies to help you grow your show and make money in 2026 or something like that. So like the actual title of the episode, I don't remember what it is now. It was something like how to grow your show without being a marketing bro or something like that.
Oh,
so
nice.
Like,
good.
But like the pin is like a little bit different, right? And then I usually have my podcast name on there somewhere. And then sometimes it's like a picture of me with a microphone, or sometimes it's like a graphic of a cartoon lady who's like working on a computer. Like it doesn't always have to be your face, and it doesn't always have to even have a picture on there. But I will say, if you have a picture on there that isn't AI, you will stand out, because they're like, I feel like everyone is using AI images right now. So like if it's like you, and like for me, like most of the pictures I use these days, I'm like, I don't look perfect, or like I've got a hair out of place or something, so it's not AI. Because like no AI girl's gonna look like that, so it's me.
There you go. Okay, I like it. Like I said, I'm not. Don't threaten me with a good time. I will have you back as often as you will say yes, because I think anything we can do to help podcasters, and the big thing I'm finding with podcasters I work with too is they're like, I don't have time to spend on things that aren't working.
Oh my gosh,
right?
yes.
Like I'm investing like hours in Facebook, and nobody tells me they find me on Facebook. Right. So one of the things I always encourage podcasters to ask when you do meet somebody that's new to your world is, how did you find me?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right. And
every
then
single
do
client
more of
I
that.
Ask.
Right?
Yeah, I ask that every single time.
Right?
Like, where did you find me? And truly, most of it was threads and Pinterest. And I was like, cool. So that's where we're going to be spending my time for now.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Anything else besides playing with your title for your podcast that you would say for a podcaster listening that would help them to be found in that big world out there?
Yes. Title for sure. And then description as well with SEO keywords. So I feel like those are the 2 big ones for podcasts. And then I feel like it's the same, but with episodes too, right? Episode title. And like, if you had an episode, this is one thing, Anna Xavier, what is her podcast called? I think it's called The Podcast Space. She is a delight. I really love her.
Yes. She
I was talking to her, don't remember when now, recently-ish. And she was like, if you have a podcast episode that didn't do as well as your other episodes, go tweak with the title and the description. Like, even if after it's come out, like, who says you can't, right? To like kind of like see if you tweak some words and then more people will find it because of SEO. It's like, you're right, Anna. You're right, Anna. I need to go do that. So I did. And I feel like I need to go back and check. Now, I was like, did I actually? I did not. So I need to go check and see how that did. But I feel like those are some things that you can do with obviously future episodes, but also past episodes. Go back and be like, actually, this was really good content. I don't know why more people didn't hear it. Go tweak some things and see what happens. Yeah.
The one thing I've been tweaking on I have an author podcast called Living the Next Chapter, right? And on that show, What I've been doing is it's got 780 episodes at this point as well.
Dang.
Is I have episodes like back in like episode 10, episode 20, episode 100. They're really good stories, or they're newsworthy. Like something's happened in the world and that person talked exactly about that thing. So what I've been doing is, instead of like re-recording it or re-releasing it as a new episode, some people have already heard it. They're like, Dave, that's no. So what I've been doing is I go in and I change the release date and I make it yesterday. I never make it today or tomorrow. I just make it yesterday.
Sure.
Which brings it up into the most recent episode list.
Right.
So you show up, you'll see episode 780, 779, episode 10. What's that doing there? Episode, right? And then it's like, why is that there? And what it's doing is it's giving new life to old content.
Totally.
Without doing anything. I can change the topic, like the title, all that stuff.
Sure.
Tweak it, make sure my website links are still working, whatever. But I'm just bringing it up. I bring it up for about 2 or 3 weeks and I push it back. So all I do is I get the original published date before I make any changes. I put that in the show notes of the episode so I can remember that was October 3rd, 2022. And then I can put it back to that date if I want, right? Yeah. So that's all I do. I just move it up for a few, and it's a great way to fill a gap in your week.
Totally.
When you do need a break and an emergency happens, you're like, I'm just going to go grab an old episode, bring it up. I don't even do a new intro, nothing. I just bring it up.
Sure.
And if you've already played it, it's already marked as played in your app.
Right.
So you're not even going to see it.
Right.
It's not even going to bother you.
Yeah.
Right. So and it lives up there.
Sure.
So
well, because most new people are gonna go to your latest 1, 2, maybe 3 episodes. So
right.
I love that.
So yeah.
I wouldn't have thought about that. I love that idea.
Yeah. And then the other little tip I've been sharing with the podcast recently, I said, treat your intros as if you're talking to a new person, and treat your outros like you're talking to your friends.
Oh, totally.
Because your friends are going to stick around to the end.
Right.
Not all new people are going to listen to the entire episode.
Nah.
But the people who stay there the longest, those are the people you want to talk to.
Yeah, those are your ride or dies. So, treat them nicely.
So frame those intros for new people who are kicking the tires, and then again, honor the people who stick around.
Oh, yes. I love that. It's so true. And truly, one thing that has been fun for me that I've been trying recently, speaking of like new people, is I like to do a cold open. So like sometimes I'll pull a quote, like if it's an interview, I'll pull a quote from the middle that's a little bit like jarring, like, what did she just say?
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, hey, my entire family is sick right now. like something just to be like, what is going on? And then I go into my like 2-sentence intro that I do. I used to have it pre-recorded, but now I just do video also for YouTube. And so like, I was like, I'm not doing pre-record. I don't want to have to figure that out with video. So I just say it every time.
I love it. Okay. So Andy, you do have to come back. I'm going to hold you to that because
please.
I love having somebody like you on the show, and I've already taken up a big chunk of your day already. Where are we going to connect with you to find more about your podcast, your coaching, helping us with Pinterest, because we all need help with that.
Yes,
where are we sending everybody? Links in the show notes, but where are we going?
Yes. Okay. So if you want to come hang out with me, Threads is my favorite. It's like Twitter, but it's like Instagram's version, and it's a delight over there. Really love it. Pinterest, obviously. I have a Pinterest if you want to go learn more from me there. And then my podcast is called Friendly Podcast Guide. You can find it on all the podcast apps. Yeah. Oh, I do have a freebie. Maybe I'll give you this link.
Please.
Yeah. So speaking of, we don't want to waste our time on things that don't work. It's called Is Pinterest Right for Your Podcast? Because there are some podcasts that Pinterest isn't a good fit for. Mostly like daily news podcasts, like things that aren't evergreen, or like, I don't know, like things that aren't solving a problem or answering a question. But most podcasts do that. So I feel like that's why I can be like, Pinterest works for almost all podcasters. But there is a list of podcasts that it doesn't work for, and this checklist helps you determine if you are one of those podcasts or not. So I'll send you that too.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that. Great. Andy, come back often, because I've learned I have a full page of notes from
Oh my
you.
gosh. Well, I have things too. I'm excited to try just like putting one at the top. Like, I feel like that's such an easy thing to do, especially like you said, when it's like something's happened in the news that like works with it, or I love that.
Right. Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to go try it.
It's your content. It's really good stuff. It's got a great value. It's evergreen. People are still going to benefit from it even years later. I don't know. I've had some pretty interesting guests on in the past, and I'm like, Like I had Adam Nimoy on. That's
Cool.
Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And so anything that goes in Star Trek news or anything that happens, I'm like, oh, slide that back up to the top
that
because
back
people
up.
are searching right now.
Right, exactly. Oh, I love it.
So why not? Right.
Totally. Yeah.
Cool.
Please have
Awesome.
me back. I would love to
All
come
right.
back.
All right. Everybody, this is Andi. She's my new podcast friend,
That's
and I'm
true.
thrilled. I
Thank
am
you.
now going to go over to Pinterest and subscribe and follow and do all the things over there and pin.
Yes.
Andi, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. We'll have links for everything in the show notes. Come back, please.
Will do.
We'd love to have you back.
Love it.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast all the way through to the end. I love having these great guest co-hosts on the show to share their podcasts with you. You have some homework to do. And what I'm asking of you is to go check out our featured guest co-host today. Go over and listen to their podcasts. The links are always in the show notes. And I'd love for you to go and give them your love and support. And I think if we can all do that for each other, podcasting will be a lot more fun for all of us. So it's time to do what you've asked others to do for you. It's time to do for this guest co-host. Links in the show notes. Go over and check out their show and leave them a review. Do the follow. Go listen to their episodes in full, the entirety of an episode, which again shows to the apps that it's a good podcast because you're going there and you're staying to the end. It's probably one of the best ways you can help a podcaster grow their audience and be shown to more people is by simply going and listening wherever you listen to the very end, like you're doing right now here. This is the perfect way to signal to wherever you're listening on, this is a podcast worth promoting. And all of the apps want you to stay on as long as possible. So go over and listen to our guest co-host episode and leave them some feedback. If they have a buy me a coffee, send them a coffee. If they have a speak pipe, send them a voice message. If they have an email, send them an email. If they're on Instagram, send them a direct message. Do something to support our guest co-hosts. They've given up their time to be here with you, to be here with me, and we can give that back to them with time and attention, our love, our support. Thank you for doing all that for me as well. Here on the How to Podcast series, we'll talk to you soon for our next episode. You're still here. Awesome. Okay, so this is a little extra at the end of the episode. And I want to share a resource with you that I created. And it is a list of all of the tools that I like to use for my podcast. And all these tools on this list are you ready for this? Free. There are no affiliate links. I don't make any money from this curated list of free tools because they're free. There's nothing to sell you. There's nothing to buy. So I created the website and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with the domain that I was able to secure for this list of tools. So if you're starting out going, Dave, this podcasting thing is just like exploding and expensive, like I'm paying for all of these things, then I want you to go to my website. Not howtopodcast.ca. You're going to find it by going to podcastforfree.com. Not the number 4. No, I'm not trying to be cute. Podcastforfree.com has all of the things that I use and I've found that are tools that podcasters can use that are completely free. So if you know of another free tool that you don't see on the list, please let me know at podcastforfree.com or howtopodcast.ca. I have a lot of domains. And we can put that list on, that item on the list as well. I want more people to know. So the more free tools we can find, the better. If you have a free tool for podcasters, not like a 3-day free tool, but like a forever free tool for podcasters, let me know. And I'd love to feature you on the list as well. Podcastforfree.com. If only there was a jingle. Oh, wait, there is.